Is your company doing contract staffing? If not, you could be missing the boat. Stand by, I'll ramp you up. Hey everybody, it's Paul Harris with Blackhawk Recruiters here in sunny California. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. As you may know, I've run an executive search firm for years. We've done nothing but permanent placement at the executive level, but we're here to announce that we'll be launching a new division doing contract staffing. So contract staffing, otherwise known as temporary staffing, hourly workers, staff augmentation, etc. So why are we doing this? Well, number one is due to requests from our clients. Clients have said, hey, Paul, you help us out with our permanent placement stuff. Can you help us out with our contract staffing? We like to live in the world of yes when we're dealing with our clients. So that's why we're doing it. But more importantly, why are they doing it? Well, they're taking advantage of what's known as the new business model, which is designed to do what? Shocker, cut costs, save money, etc. So what is the new business model? Basically, it's having a lean and mean core full-time staff surrounded by a group of flexible contract staffing workers. And you guys, this is just leaders adjusting to the trends in the industry. Trends such as baby boomers being replaced by the millennials. These millennials, they move around, right? They don't plan on working somewhere for 30 years and getting a gold watch and retire, etc., right? Also, Wall Street Journal had an article called The End of the Employee, and it's expected that soon 50% of the workforce will be known as flexible workers. So is it time for you to get on the contract staffing train if you're not already? Well, first of all, let's talk about some of the benefits. So number one, and ahead of all of them, is basically reducing your employment costs. So you have much more control over your costs. So you only pay for the skill sets you need when you need them via contract staffing without the traditional overhead. Number two, I would just call it basically flexibility in staffing, right? So in the past, when you got a big project, your salesperson brings in a big project, they're thrilled. You say, hey, we don't have enough staff. We got to turn down this job. The salesperson wants to do this. You're not happy as well. So, or basically maybe it's just the normal business cycles of business, right? Where in the case like this, it would be easy to ramp up during a high cycle, easy to ramp down in a slow cycle without the HR issues. Number three would be, I would call it elimination of the HR headache, right? So basically all the paperwork from your side goes away, right? Payroll, workers' compensation, unemployment benefits, HR issues, etc. They all go away because you are not the W-2 employee of record. That comes from our side. So all the paperwork, benefits, HR hassle, etc. is from us. Lastly, I would call it risk mitigation. So have you ever made a bad hire? No, you've never made a bad hire. Okay, of course you have. You guys, it's extremely painful, agree? So in a situation like this, you get to try before you buy. So if the person is a okay performer and their contract comes to an end and you can live life without them, you just let the contract expire, right? You don't have to have that uncomfortable conversation where you bring them in the office and say, hey, Sally, hey, Joe, we got to let you go, etc., right? But on the other hand, if they are a rock star, you can bring them on full time. I read a quote somewhere which is basically the best interview you can ever have a candidate is employing them for 6 months or a year or something like that. At the end of that time, you know what type of employee they would make. You're bringing them on board. You got a rock star with no bad hires, risk mitigation, as I talked about. So should you be doing contract staffing? Well, there's a litmus test that you can take, a couple of questions you can ask yourself. Number one is kind of have an honest moment of reflection with yourself as a leader of your organization and say, am I overstaffed at some points during the business cycle throughout the year or throughout the quarter or whatever? The chances are, yes, you are overstaffed and you don't have to be. It's costing you money. Number two is, are you ready for this one? Do you have any baby boomers who are retiring in the next 12 months? And if so, do you have a strategic plan in place to replace them? Are you worried about them taking their skill sets elsewhere, maybe to a competitor? This is happening more and more frequently in our world. It's called bungee retirees, right? They jump off the ship and bounce right back to the ship via contract staffing versus an employee role. Lastly, I want to mention, you guys, this is also a win-win for the candidates. There's many reasons why this would be a win-win for a candidate, which I won't go into, but just let's hit the biggest one, is they also get to try before they buy, right? They can try out your company. They can check out your corporate culture. They can see if they like their boss. They can see if they like the kind of projects that they're working on, and etc. So they get to try you before they buy you. So it can be a win-win situation for them and for you. So you guys, if you have any questions regarding contract staffing, have any interest in it, need to know anything about it, or you have any permanent placement needs as well, please give us a call. I'm open 24 hours a day for you, as you know, and I'd be happy to talk. My phone number and everything is right there. Looking forward to talking to you. Hope this was helpful. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day. Bye-bye.